welcome to all you beautiful people. Welcome to the Players Club. Do you ever wonder what psychological tricks men are using to get what they want from you? Have you found yourself in situations where you can't quite understand the scheme until the scheme has already happened? I hope you realize it isn't an accident when these men play you. And I know that because I've done that myself. So I'm going to share with you today 7 psychological tricks men use to get what they want from you. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're here with me and you're paying attention to the live stream and paying attention to me and you're ready to participate, please say here present in the live stream so that I know you're here and you're present, and we'll get started in just a moment. Okay? How you guys doing? You guys here today with me on this beautiful Friday? Hello, Sharice. Sharice says, long time no see. Yes, we were literally talking about you yesterday. We were like, where's Sharice been? What's she been doing? Why is she not here? Well, what's going on? We were all confused, but we're glad you're back. I seen you said your schedule was a bit busy. Claudia's here. We got Batia's here early. SH is here. Chow's here as well. We got Melena. I think I've been saying her name, Melina or Melena. I'm gonna assume it's Melina. Is here. First one in the chat today. We got Valerian Goddess is here as well. We got Sabrina Enlighten is here, of course, and Teddy in the YouTube chat. So glad to have all you beautiful people, especially you that are here early in the YouTube chat. I love that as well. Okay. Enlightened Nay says I can't stay long. That's okay. It's okay. You're here with us now. That's the most important part, and you're here on time. Okay, so let's get started with the 7 psychological tricks that men use. Number 1, we have dream selling. Okay, now let's imagine a scenario. I'm going to give you guys a story for each one of these, and then we'll expand. So men are always not always, but men, when they want to use a trick on you, dream selling is a great option. Why? We've talked about it before, your desire to live in a Disney princess movie and your desire to be like the Disney princess that you're watching on TV, or to be like the main character in your favorite teen drama, or to be like the main character in your favorite Wattpad story, is what leads you to go out into your relationships, specifically your romantic relationships, and try to get that to happen in your relationships. Try to see what you've been watching and consuming on the screen or consuming in your books. And so what happens with me as a man, if I want to pull the wool over your eyes, if I want to get what I want from you, if I want to extract Squirtle from you, the best way, or one of the best ways for me to do that, one of the best tricks for me to play, is to play into the role of whatever dream it is that you have. Because if you have that dream to be like a Disney princess, and I can come around and present myself as Prince Charming, well, then what's going to happen? You're going to be convinced that this is your Disney princess movie, right? You're living your dream. You're going to buy into the narrative that I'm selling you, and it's going to make it that much easier for me to control you under that narrative. Okay, because you want so badly to believe in this, I don't really even have to put in much work into getting you to believe in this concept. And I also, right, can control your mind and your actions and the way you respond to me, because I know how badly you want to believe in this narrative. Okay, right? So as long as you don't ask too many questions, I can easily disguise all my intentions behind whatever dream it is I'm selling. So if you go out on a date with me and you're sitting here talking about, I just really want a romantic guy that will take care of me, and my last ex, he cheated, and I'm just so sick of people like that. I'm just looking for a guy who will like sweep me off my feet and be romantic. And then he goes, yeah, I just happen to love romance. I'm such a romantic guy. And, I really want to have a partner where I can just come home every single day and buy her flowers. And every single day I just kiss her a good night and tell her how much I love her. Right. And he'll sell you on that narrative so heavily that you begin to be like, oh my God, it sounds like a dream. Oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. Oh my God. And he'll even show you that in very small doses, right? Because he knows how badly, right? And I'm saying this as someone who's done it. I know how badly you want to believe in that dream. So selling you that dream will actually be very easy as long as I first identify what that dream is. Once I identify what that dream is, what it is you're wishing for, what narrative it is you want to believe in, very easy for me to sell you on that and then control you within that, right? Because that belief that you have, that desire that you have to live in that, I can take that and manipulate that and use that to my advantage. Because when you want so badly to have your romantic man and everything to be romance, and I know, hey, I'm actually not really that interested in building a serious relationship with you, but I do know that I want Squirtle from you. I'll pretend to be this romantic guy. I'll get you flowers even some days. I'll do these nice things for you. I'll do all the stuff you talked about would be like a dream to you, right? And then you'll become so enchanted by living this dream out. You'll become so, you'll be in a dream, right? And you won't be conscious here and you won't be looking deeper into anything because you'll be so busy living in that dream. And now I can operate because remember I said it's really about the deception and the perception and taking your attention onto a different place that I can do something right underneath your nose and you won't even realize it, right? When you're so focused on that dream that I'm selling you and that narrative that I'm giving you, you won't stop to ask any more questions and you won't stop to do any of the work that's required to understand, am I really here for the right reasons? Am I really the type of guy you're trying to build a relationship with? Or are you confused? Or is this just all a ruse or a scam? Okay, so that first you have in the dream selling, you have that. Then you have your desire to buy into the dream makes it easy to control you because you're going to be chasing after the dream, like I mentioned before, right? You want so badly for that dream to be real that it makes it very easy to control your mind, control your thoughts, control your reactions, control your responses underneath that umbrella of your desire for that dream. Okay, very easy to control you, so, which is exactly why I would sell you a dream. And that's why it's one of the best psychological tricks to play on you as a man playing a woman, because now I can trick you into thinking, hey, this is your moment. This is your dream. This is your everything that you've been wishing for and hoping for and longing for and wanting, right? And now that you finally have it, you don't have to think about anything. You can let your guard down. You can stop worrying about life and relationships and stop worrying about interviewing me or understanding me or learning me. You don't have to take me through any situations and get a better understanding of who I am and what I'm about. No. Don't ask any questions. You're already living in the dream. Because if you're already living your dream, why would you ask questions? This is your dream. This is your moment. Right? This is your Disney princess movie. Why ask questions? And that's exactly what I want. If I'm trying to trick you, if I'm trying to pull the wool over your eyes, if I'm trying to make you unaware about what my true intentions are, I definitely want you to be living in a dream, because then I can take control of the entire situation and you'll have no way of fighting back because you won't even be there. You won't even be present. You won't even be thinking about the fact that I could be tricking you because you'll be so busy living in this dream. Okay? Right? Very, very important. I see what is going on with my guys. Trust me, I will get this internet issue fixed. I have no idea why the frames are dropping. Is it glitching for you guys on YouTube or TikTok? My apologies, guys. My honest apologies. I don't know what is going on with this with this. Is it glitching for you guys? My honest apologies. I will get this figured out some way, somehow, eventually. But for now, we might just have to. I know, I can tell it's my internet. It's my internet. And the crazy part is I got the best internet, but for some reason, just going in and out. My apologies, guys. That makes me really upset. Okay, so don't think it's just you. It's me. I'm also upset. Okay, so number one was dream selling. Number two, we have infatuation. Okay, so men faking their infatuation for you to boost your ego and distract you from their real intentions. It also makes you think that they are obsessed with you because they want to date you. Okay? Very, very important. Someone says it's fine on YouTube. Is it really? It's fine for you guys on. That's so strange. Yeah, if you guys are having issues on TikTok, maybe today is the day that you go onto YouTube, because for whatever reason, it seems like on YouTube they never have any glitching issues. It seems like it's only a TikTok thing out, and I'm not really sure why. But if it's like really bad on TikTok, please head over to YouTube. I'm not sure why that's like that. Okay. So number two, we have infatuation, right? These men are going to remember how I talked to you guys yesterday about the enchantment, and I talked about casting a spell, and I talked about how it's almost like a battle of who can cast the best spell, the fastest, the quickest, and the most effective, because whoever casts that spell is going to be in control of the relationship, or be in control of the talking stage, however you want to describe it, right? As you're casting that spell on the guy, because you want to be the one casting the spell, you then get to extract the information that you need to make the best decision that you can possibly make on the rest of the relationship. That's the whole point of casting a spell, not just for the sake of casting the spell, but because you know you're there to gather information. And with that information is how you're going to determine, are you going to actually give yourself mind, body, and soul to this guy? Or are you going to peace out and go somewhere else because this is a waste of your time, right? You're trying to determine that. And in the process of you determining that, casting him under your spell will do you very well, because then you'll be able to operate the same way I just talked about, selling a dream and then operating underneath that. You'll be able to operate underneath that enchantment and extract what you want. And he'll talk about himself. He'll tell you all his secrets. He'll tell you everything going on with him. He'll tell you all the things that he doesn't even realize is making it clear and obvious to you what category you should put him in, what he's about, what his intentions are, and all those things that he's sharing with you will make it clear what direction you should be going in. Okay. I guess it's still good for you guys on YouTube. So I have no idea what's happened to TikTok. Is it still frozen for you guys on TikTok? If it's totally frozen, let me try something for you guys on TikTok. Let me end the stream on TikTok, not on YouTube. I'll end the stream on TikTok, and then I'll restart it if it's just completely frozen. Okay, so actually let me see if I pause the live and then resume it. Is it better now for you guys on TikTok, or is it still frozen? You gotta let me know. You guys gotta respond if you can even hear me. It seems like on YouTube they're perfectly fine. So my apologies, guys, because YouTube seems to be getting the best version of the stream. Okay, so we have dream selling. Okay, dream selling, very important. When these guys want to sell, sorry, I said dream selling. We have infatuation. When these guys want to pretend as if they're infatuated with you, it's an easy trick to play on you, because now you're convinced that you've cast a spell on him. He's so obsessed with you. You're so amazing. You're so awesome. You're the best thing since sliced bread. And because you believe that, now your guard is down. A lot of these psychological tricks, at least the ones that I'm going to be discussing today, are mainly about the guys being able to use them to extract what they want from you. And for most of them, they consist of some sort of distraction from the truth. Okay. So the infatuation can also be a good way to distract you from the truth, because when he pretends to you, oh my God, like I just met you, the same thing as a love at first sight. Oh my God, I just met you and you're such an amazing person. You're the best thing since sliced bread. You're so amazing. Like your body, your figure, your beauty, your mind, your everything. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I mean, how would you know how amazing my mind is? You don't really know me. You've never really met me. But you don't think about it too long, because he's just laying it on so thick, right? He's laying on the fact that he's so obsessed with you and infatuated with you that you don't even have time to really think about the fact that that doesn't really even make sense. Right. For those of you who might be new here or who have never gotten this question asked by me, have you ever been in a relationship or a situationship where you felt like a guy was super infatuated with you? Infatuated just means like really obsessed with you before it would have been even appropriate, like before he would even have enough information or know enough about you to be obsessed with you or infatuated with you. Have you ever been in a relationship or a talking stage with a guy like that, where you're just kind of confused, like, that doesn't really make sense for you to be this obsessed with me this fast. That doesn't really, it's not really logical. It's not really, but the ego boost that they give you from being so obsessed with you, you're like, I guess you see how amazing I am. I guess you understand that I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I guess you just see my beauty and how radiant I am walking around. So because you see that, that's why you're infatuated with me. Okay. Have you ever experienced that? I see Cherie says yes. She bad says yes. I think it's Yvette. I think that's how you say it. Says yes all the time. SH says yes. Helga says, but cause we like those words, we want to believe. Exactly. It's kind of like selling you a dream, except the infatuation becomes an easy way to convince you, right, that this guy is already so obsessed with you and so obsessed with the relationship and wants to be with you so badly, right, that you don't have to worry about him trying to trick you or manipulate you. That's where the psychological trick comes in, because when he's actually not truly obsessed, not to say that guys can actually be obsessed with you, guys can actually be infatuated and obsessed with you, but that happens over time. The guys that want to make it seem like they're infatuated with you overnight and you're just like a wash over them, and now all of a sudden they just met you and now they see how amazing and awesome you are, right? They're trying to get you to let your guard down, because once you let your guard down, you'll start saying to yourself, oh, well, he's so obsessed with me, so obviously he's trying to build a long-term serious relationship with me. He's so obsessed with me, so obviously he really wants to be with me. He's so obsessed with me, so obviously he's trying to build something long-term, right? And as soon as you convince yourself of that, what do? You let him in, figuratively and like three-dimensionally, physically, right? You let him in because you feel like the only way he could be this obsessed and this infatuated is if he was actually trying to build something real with you. You convince yourself of that. And when you convince yourself of that, right, the fact that he's trying to date you or really be with you, now you're unaware of the tricks that he might be playing or the lies he might be telling you. And you stop asking questions because you're distracted by the fact that this guy is obsessed with you. You're distracted by the fact that this guy wants to be with you so badly. You're just overall distracted, which is why you allow him in, right? That fake obsession tricks you into feeling like you are in control, right? That you don't bother asking questions, because when he's super infatuated with you, when he seems like he's so obsessed with you, especially right at the beginning, right? You feel like, oh, he's super obsessed with me. So now I'm in control of the situation and I have the upper hand. Once again, you let your guard down and you stop asking questions. You stop looking into things deeper. You stop doing all the things that will help you better learn and understand the guy that you're with and determine if he'll be a suitable long-term partner for you. And you just come to the conclusion that, oh, he's obsessed with me, so I don't have to worry about that guy. He's super infatuated, so it must be for the right reasons, right? He's super into me, so I don't have to worry about him trying to play me. right? You convince yourself of that and you stop asking any of those questions. And the psychological trick is now he can control you because you have let your guard down once again. Once again, you're distracted. And it makes it very easy for me when you think I'm super obsessed with you because you naturally want to mirror that obsession. So even if you don't necessarily feel like that, you want to mirror that because you think that I feel like that. And now that you're mirroring that, what does your obsession lead to? Your obsession leads to you doing things that you wouldn't regularly do because you're so obsessed, right? And I'm like, oh my God, me and you, we're both so obsessed with each other. We're just an obsessed couple, me and you, just the obsessed twins. Oh my God, you're obsessed with me. I'm obsessed with you. We're obsessed with each other. Oh my God, I want to lick your eyeballs. Oh my God, I want to sniff your nostrils. Oh my God, I just want to be close to you so much, right? And that happens at the very beginning. And they get you down this snowball, this rabbit hole of obsession where you want to be as infatuated with him as he is infatuated with you. And now you're giving yourself to him under the guidelines of, oh my God, we're both so obsessed with each other. Oh my God, we're both so infatuated with each other. And what happens? You give yourself to him and he goes to himself, that was great. That was awesome. That was actually amazing. But I'm not really obsessed with you. I just wanted to play into that role that I could get what I wanted from you. And in the process of you thinking we're the obsessed twins, right? We're obsessed with each other. Your obsession has actually led you to do things that you wouldn't regularly do. But I win and you lose because all I have to do is take back my obsession and go on about my day. The problem is when you take back your obsession or you pull yourself out of it, you realize that you've actually given something away in the process of this infatuation. Okay, that's why you lose in this psychological trick. Because even when you're both playing the role of, oh my God, we're both obsessed, right? Under the guidelines of both of you being obsessed, you're going to do things that you wouldn't regularly do. So he'll tell you, oh my God, like I wouldn't even regularly sleep with the girl on the first night. By the way, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. If you ever hear a guy say that, that's just idiocy. Don't listen to a guy saying that. But he'll be like, oh, I would never even sleep with the girl on the first night that I was trying to build a relationship with because like that's not even my MO. Like that's not even what I'm trying to do, right? Obviously, if a girl was offering him that he really wanted to sleep with, he would do it. Any guy that says he wouldn't is just lying to you. That doesn't mean that they'll all follow through with it, but they would want to do it, okay? My point being is under that umbrella of, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with you that I'll just I'll break my rules for you. That's what the guys was, I'll break my rules for you. I'll do things that I wouldn't regularly do, right? Because they know that's an easy trick to get you to mirror them. And then as you begin mirroring them, because you want to seem as obsessed with him as he is with you, right? You do things that you also wouldn't regularly do. And you say things that you also wouldn't regularly say. The problem is once you give yourself away to him and then he takes back that infatuation, you're left with basically nothing. Actually, you're left with less than nothing because whatever you had before, you've given some of that to him. And so you're -1. And he's back to 0. Actually, he's +1 and you're -1. Okay? Right? And the infatuation is much like casting a spell on you by him pretending to be enchanted by you. You understand what I'm saying? As he pretends to be enchanted by you, he casts a spell on you because you're convinced that he is the one under the spell. He's the one that's enchanted by you, even though you haven't actually done anything to enchant him. Newsflash, if you haven't actually done anything to enchant him, like done real things to enchant him, then he's not actually enchanted by you. It's just a finesse, okay? These guys that make you feel as if like you're the best thing since sliced bread and you're wondering yourself, I literally haven't done anything to convince you of that. That is love bombing. That is that infatuation psychological trick that they'll play on you to get from you what they want from you. Are you guys following along with me so far? Making sense despite my garbage internet, which shall be fixed this weekend? Is that making sense to you guys? Or you guys confused at all? You need me to explain anything? Number 1 was dream selling, and number 2 was infatuation. I want to make sure you guys are still here with me despite my internet issues. Okay, I hope it's a little bit more bearable for you guys now, right? So infatuation was the other one. Nifasimi said, what's the topic today? Today, 7 psychological tricks men use to get what they want from you. That is the topic for today's discussion. Okay. So number 1, we had dream selling. Number 2, we had infatuation. Okay. Now, number 3, we have isolation. This is a really good one. Okay. I'm going to be on, and I'm telling you all of these, I've used all of these. So I know I know how this is working. Okay. Right. Someone said, what are you eating, boy? You always be burping. I literally eat the most regular food. That's the crazy part. So number 3 is isolation. As some of you already know where I'm getting to with this. If I want to get you to believe in a particular storyline, if I want your mind to only believe what I want you to believe, and I also want to gaslight you into thinking that you're crazy for believing anything bad about me or any wrongdoings that I've done, I will isolate you from your friends and your family. This is a great psychological trick that men and I have played. Why? Because when I isolate you, it's very easy for me to convince you that anything you're thinking is a crazy, unrealistic, unreal thought, right? When I isolate you, you have no other outside third-party perspectives or opinions to come into your mind to confirm how it is you've already been feeling, okay? When I isolate you, now, instead of you being able to actually think for yourself, I can hammer you with thoughts or opinions that are my own, right? And convince you that whatever it is you were thinking and feeling that was original to you, those ideas that were original to you, no, those are wrong. And let me explain to you why those are wrong. And in the process of me gaslighting you, in the process of me spinning and twisting the narrative, because you're the only one there, and because you're so isolated from any other thoughts or ideas outside of the mind, what's going to happen is it's going to make it very hard for you to begin to believe in your own understanding of any scenario or any situation. So I'll give you an example, right? If I know that I'm a constant serial cheater and we're in a relationship together and I want to continue cheating on you, but in the process of me cheating on you, I'm messaging these girls behind your back. I'm DMing girls constantly. I'm Snapchatting girls. You guys know how I feel about Snapchat. I'm Snapchatting girls constantly. I'm doing all this shady stuff, and you're catching this, you're catching that, you're seeing this, you're hearing of that, you're hearing of this. What I'm going to do, right? If I want to play a psychological trick on you, I'm going to isolate you purposely from all of your friends and family so that you stop hearing their opinions, one, and also so that when I twist the narrative and tell you, oh no, but the girl I DM'd, I wasn't DMing her to come over to my place because we were going to do anything, inappropriate. I DM'd her to come over to my place because she lives right next to my guy best friend, and my guy best friend said that he needed his charger back because he left it at my place the last time he slept over. So she came by and she picked up the charger for my guy best friend, and we were just chatting because she was telling me about her relationship problems. So she ended up coming inside the house, and then we were just talking about her relationship problems that she was having with my guy best friend. And then we were chatting. So basically, as we were chatting, she kind of just fell asleep a little bit on the couch. And I was like, you might as well just come sleep in my room since, you live so far away and it's too late for you to be leaving the house. And so that's why she ended up sleeping over. Right? I can spin and twist the narrative. And the thing about it is, even when you're sitting there and you're listening to this and you're like, this is a load of BS. This is wrong. This is inappropriate, right? That was an inappropriate response for the fact that you're in a relationship with me. And you're convinced like, no, that was wrong. That was wrong. That was wrong. But because I isolate you from all your friends and family. One, you don't get to get any of their opinions or thoughts about the situation, because if you were to tell your girl best friend that happened, she'd be like, girl, are you crazy? You need to walk away from that relationship. Also, as I isolate you, I can hammer to you the same concept over and over and over again. And in the process of you sitting there, and at first you're like, no, you're crazy. This is BS. Like, that doesn't make any sense. As I continue to isolate you from everyone, and I hammer these thoughts and feelings into you, now it makes it so much harder for you to remember what it was you even felt in the first place, because you're spending so much time with me and around me and hearing my point of view and my perspective. You're like, I guess I shouldn't be upset, because I guess, it was just kind of you to be there for her and to talk to her. And like, I know, I get it. It is dangerous out at night. So it does make sense why you wouldn't want her to like go home when it was like super late. And yeah, your boy needed his charger, so she does live close. And what's going to happen is I can begin, it's not even gaslighting anymore. I can just easily convince you of something or a thought or an opinion that you didn't even actually have when I isolate you. That's why it's a great psychological trick, because I can begin to plant seeds in your mind that didn't already exist, allow them to grow, and those become your versions of the truth, even if they're not actually the truth. And it makes it a lot harder for you to snap out of it. When I say snap out of it, is to like really see the trees for the color they are. I don't even know if that's a saying. The world for what it is, right? Really see reality. It makes it that much harder to see that when you have no outside perspective, no outside opinions, and the only thing you're constantly hearing is whatever point of view or perspective I want to convince you of. And so every situation becomes that. Every situation that you question or think is wrong, or think is inappropriate, or feel hurt by, or feel disrespected by, now I can twist it and turn it and manipulate it, feed it back to you in a way that doesn't sound as bad. And after a while of me isolating you from everyone and not allowing you to get any opinions or thoughts from other people, or other people to see what's going on in our relationship and tell you that that's wrong, or remind you that you're not crazy for feeling like that, what's going to happen is you're going to be like, well, this is just how it is. This is just how we treat each other. I guess it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. Right? And that's how you're going to start that's what you're going to start believing. Okay? That isolation is a great trick for me to play on you, that you will no longer be able to tell the truth from the lie. And I know that because I've done that, and I've also had that done to me, okay, by a woman. Obviously, men and women can do both, all of these that I'm discussing, but I'm obviously talking to majority women, so I'm giving you the man's perspective, okay? So that isolation is great, right? When I isolate you, it makes it so much easier for me to make you feel crazy for having any opinion or perspective outside of the ones that I agree with, or I want you to have. You understand what I'm saying? I only want you to have opinions or perspectives that work in my favor. So I isolate you so that you can't have opinions or perspectives outside of my own, outside of the ones I approve. And if you happen to, I'm going to hammer it home to you how crazy you are for thinking or feeling that way. And because you're only hearing me tell you how crazy you are for thinking and feeling that way, and you're hearing no confirmation of your feelings or emotions, or anyone validating your feelings or emotions, right? You're going to begin to believe that, yeah, I'm crazy for thinking that. Yeah, I'm crazy for even believing that. Have you ever had a guy do that to you? Put you in isolation from your friends and family so that they can convince you of whatever narrative or storyline that they want you to be convinced of. Has that ever happened to you? Okay. I see Paige says yes. Scotty says yes. Okay. LLC says yes. Brianna says, my ex and he was scary. Brianna, were you the first to say here present today? I didn't see it. Polish says, Polishiersi says, nah, never happened. Good. I'm glad it never happened to you. Okay. Vicky says, I don't date toxic dudes. So no, that's good. That's good. Now, I know that some of you have experienced that, right? Vaseline says girls isolate boys also, at least at younger age, when they can't understand what we really need and not on purpose. I agree that all of these things the girls can also do to the guys. The only reason I'm giving you a man's perspective is because that's the only perspective that I have, obviously, and I don't like to talk about what other people are doing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, oh, the girls do this and the girls do that and the girls this and the woman this and the woman that. It's just not. You guys can take accountability and claim of that. I will claim the things that I've actually experienced. That's why I speak of it like that. Okay. So the isolation. So number 1 was dream selling. Number 2 was infatuation. Number 3 was isolation. Right. And the last point as it relates to isolation is you begin to believe in any storyline that I feed you, no matter how crazy it is, because I can easily convince you that it's not crazy when I tell you about my perspective or my feelings, and I tell you how wrong or misinformed you are for feeling that particular way that you feel about this situation, right? That's why it's so amazing when I can isolate you. When I can isolate you, I can convince you of literally anything. Okay. So number 1 was the dream selling. Number 2 was infatuation. Number 3 was isolation. And number 4, we have confusion. Okay. So not setting boundaries or expectations, knowing that I will mess up, and then apologizing as if the confusion is what caused the situation. This is a great psychological trick that I've played and a lot of men have played. It's a great one because when there's a lot of confusion, let's imagine a story. Okay, so I'm going to give you a story. Let's say me and you are in a talking stage, right? And in the process of us doing this talking stage, we obviously know that we're getting a little bit more serious now. And we know that we're transitioning from that place of, oh, we're single and we can date people and we can see other people and have conversations with other people. We're now transitioning to this phase where it's a little bit more exclusive. If either of us were to find out that we're dating or seeing other people, then the other person would be a little bit upset or hurt, right? Let's imagine we're in that stage. And so we're going through this talking stage, and you're kind of starting to question now because we've transitioned into a place where we're spending a lot of time together. We're going out on dates. We're sleeping over at each other's house. We're being very intimate. We're talking about intimate things. We're talking about our future together and all this good stuff. So you're kind of like, well, now we're in a place where I'm assuming this is supposed to be exclusive one, but I'm also thinking about what are we now? What is our title? What are we representing as a group now? And so in the process of you thinking that, maybe let's say you ask me, what are we? What is our title? You know, where are we going with this? What's the plan here? And I tell you, well, you know, I want to see where things go right now. I just got a lot going on and I don't know if I'm ready for a relationship, but I also really like you. And I also really like spending time with you. And I also really like everything that we have going on. So I'm not really sure if I'm yet ready for us to get to the level where we build, you know, a long-term serious relationship. But, you know, I don't want us to not talk. I don't want us to not speak. I don't want us to not be in a relationship. But at the same time, it's just so hard for me to imagine, you know, actually committing yet because I just got so much going on. And I just leave you. Basically, I say a whole lot of nothing and I confuse you. Now, let's say 2 weeks later, after we have that conversation, you leave that conversation and you're like, honestly, I still don't know what we are. I still don't know what we represent. I don't know if we're together or not. I'm actually confused. Then 2 weeks after that, you're talking to a friend or whatever, one of your girlfriends, and you find out that I went out on a date with another girl through her, because the girl that I went out on a date with is actually one of her friends. And you figure out that I went on this date with this girl. And so you confront me. You're like, what the hell are you doing? I thought we were building an exclusive thing here. I thought we are building up to a serious relationship. We've been hanging out almost every other day or 3-4 times a week. We've been doing all this stuff together. You've been talking about a future with me. You've been talking about building stuff with me, and you're going out on a date with another girl. What gives? What's your problem? What's going on? And then he says, oh, and then I say to you, oh, I didn't know that you wanted to be exclusive. Why didn't you tell me that you wanted us to be like an exclusive thing? Like you didn't want us to date other people. I thought we were still exploring like our options and just kind of seeing what was out there and just kind of feeling it out and things like that. I thought that's what we were doing. You said that you were like down with the idea that like, you know, me and you were just kind of figuring things out and working it out and seeing how we continue to feel as time goes on. And you're like, I didn't ever really said that. I asked you, what are we? Because I was confused where things stand. And you're like, no, but I thought you were asking me that, what are we? Because you weren't really sure if you wanted to commit either. And I thought that's why we had the discussion, because we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, but we never came to a conclusion on that. And then you're sitting there like, what? What? We didn't come to I swear I made it clear of what I want and expect from this relation. I don't think I've ever said to you that, hey, we should be dating other people during this time. But the thing about it is, right? Here's the secret. I knew that you were confused. I knew that you didn't have a clear understanding of where we stood with each other. I knew you didn't even have a clear understanding of what the boundaries were. And a lot of times, for me as a man, this confusion is good for me. And it's a great trick to play on you, because then when I come back after you address the thing that upset you or angered you, I can pretend as if, oh, I never even knew that was your problem. I never even knew that you had an issue with that. What? That was your problem. You had a problem with the thing that I did there. Oh my God. I'm so sorry that I hurt you. I'm so sorry that I hurt your feelings. If I would have just known that you didn't like that, if I had just known that that would upset you, I would have never even dreamed of doing it. It didn't even cross my mind that was going to upset you like that. And the confusion is a great way for me to convince you that it was a mistake and it was unintentional, even though the confusion was intentional, so that I would have the space to make mistakes and then later apologize for them as if they were outside of my control. Actually, we'll stay on this for a bit, because this is a great psychological trick that I don't know if a lot of you have ever picked up on, right? Because guys aren't idiots. They might be a little bit emotionally stunted, but they're not idiots. Guys also know that the more confusion they leave you in, right, the more excuses they have for doing the wrong thing. Because it's different if he went out on a date with another girl and you guys discussed being in an exclusive relationship and you're like, cool, we're dating now. We're boyfriend and girlfriend now. This is serious. We're locked in. And you went on and you caught him going out on a date with another girl. That's it. He's done. It's over for him. There's no excuses. But the confusion allows him to string you along for longer, and it allows him to talk his way out of these situations. Because how can you address him properly when you were also confused on what the standards or expectations was? You were both confused. So now, because of the confusion, you can't blame him. And you can't blame his actions, and you can't put the accountability and responsibility on him, because he gets to hide behind the wall of confusion. I don't have to take accountability. I was confused. We were both confused. Why would I take accountability? I was confused on what was going on. I didn't know that we were supposed to be exclusive. Right? And the confusion is a great way to, first of all, gaslight you into thinking that you're crazy for feeling that way, but also escape the responsibility and accountability of whatever mistake it was that I made. So even if I know I'm going to make this particular mistake in the future, but I want the space to make that mistake, that when I make the mistake and if you catch me, that I can apologize and say, oh my God, I didn't mean to make that mistake. I will purposely leave you in confusion or not say anything at all so that there's no clarity about what the standard or expectation is. That way, when I actually do the thing that upsets you, I can quickly apologize and blame it on the fact that there was so much confusion. Remember, I always tell you guys, that where there is confusion, there can't be clarity. And where there is clarity, there can't be confusion. They can't exist together. There's only one or the other. So if you don't have clarity in your relationship, then you have confusion. And if you have confusion, then there's no way you can have clarity. I think I already said that one, right? They can't exist with each other. So that is something you should be aware of if you're in a situationship or a talking stage or whatever stage and you're confused. Because once you're confused what the standards and expectations are and the boundaries are, it gives him the space to make mistakes, right? And then hide behind the wall of, I didn't know that was a mistake. I didn't know you wouldn't like that. I didn't know you would have a problem with that. I was confused also. This is actually one of the easiest ways that these guys string you in these talking stages for what seems like ages. Confusion is a great one for that. So obviously all the psychological tricks can be used at different times. Confusion is a great psychological trick to play on a girl who you want to continue having ongoing access to, but you don't want to have to actually commit to. But you're starting to get into a space where if you don't commit, it shows a clear sign that you are never going to commit, right? Because eventually these talking stages go on for long enough and become serious enough where it's like, okay, either you're going to commit or you're really just playing me. It's either one of the two. And these guys are trying to extend that period of time in which they don't have to commit. So what do? They try to cover the relationship and the talking stage in confusion that they can continue stringing this process along. And when they make this mistake or they get caught with this or they get caught saying this or doing this, it can still be under the umbrella of confusion because we didn't know where we stand, but I thought we weren't doing a thing. And I thought we were doing kind of a half thing where we're only a thing when we're together and we go on dates and we enjoy each other, but we're not right? And the longer he can string along that confusion, the longer he can string you along because you sit around waiting for him to provide you with clarity. And you're hoping that each new day, each new passing day will be the day that he provides you with clarity in the relationship and you never have to worry about anything again and you guys can ride off in the sunset. But he knows that the moment he provides you clarity is the moment that he's going to have to take accountability for anything that he says or does after that. So if he knows that, why would he provide you with clarity? He'll just continue allowing you to live in confusion that he can continue making it seem like this was an accident. I didn't know that was a problem. I'll apologize, but I didn't know that was an issue. I didn't know that this you had a problem with. I didn't know. If I would have known, it wouldn't have happened and this and that, right? And he can continue just apologizing for each and every mistake while you continue sitting there hoping and praying that one day you'll be provided with clarity that you won't have to accept his apology for being confused and not knowing. Okay? Are you guys following what I'm saying so far? Nifasimi says, Tommy, please, this is triggering. I would hope so, because if it's triggering to you, then it's probably because you either have experienced it or you're experiencing it currently, in which case that's good, because now that you're hearing me talk about it, it'll be much easier for you to identify it when it's happening. Because I told you, and like I always tell you guys, I'm a red flag man. So don't be thinking I sit up here, I'm dressed in all pink, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm the type of man you should be with. You see me sitting on this camera here in front of you. You should go out in your life and look for a man like me. You see how I'm well shaven, clean cut. That's the type of man you should be looking for. A man just like, no, I'm not here to convince you that you should be with a man that's more like me. I'm here telling you that I've done this to women, which is why I actually know how this works. My only skill set is to be able to articulate why and how I did it. that you can then understand it, use that information, and go out into your life and identify if it's happening in your life and relationships, and then utilize it to your advantage so you can avoid these things happening. Okay? So I'm not here to tell you how good and amazing I am and how much you should avoid the bad man. I am the bad man. But I can also sit here and tell you how I've been the bad man. Okay? Which is good for you, because now you can learn from the bad men, how the bad men are reacting and responding and going about life. Okay? Lily says, what makes a guy stop doing this? Well, think about this idea. What would make a guy stop doing this if he's getting what he's wanted, which is access to the Squirtle? Why would he stop in particular, right? Unless something tragic or drastic happens, why would he stop if the method has been working for him? Okay. Excuse me. Sorry, I just burped into the mic. Someone said yesterday, actually, side note, someone said yesterday, they were like, oh, I love when you burp into the mic. It's so manly. That's exactly how a man acts. You should be burping more. I was like, it was like a comment on my YouTube. I was like, wow, I guess everyone has their difference of opinion. Anyways, Jenny says, wish I would have known this to navigate in my 20s. I mean, there's no better time to learn than the present. Okay, no better time to learn that. That was a real comment, guys. I'm not joking. Madison says, how do you feel about the statement, if a man doesn't properly ask you out, you aren't his girlfriend? Should we behave like them until they ask? I want you to package that and ask it in the Discord, and then I'll answer that, okay? And Etra says it's an excuse for them to do whatever they want to do. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. That's what they want to do, what they want to do. And that excuse is very good when you're both confused. Okay. Right. When I confuse you, I can string you along for as long as I possibly need to. Right. It's like an extension. It's like an extension 24/7. I get an easy extension for my homework, and I never have to actually hand it in, because each time it's due, I just get another extension under the guidelines of confusion, right? Confusion allows me to make mistakes that I already intended to make and that I know are wrong, but I can blame it on the fact that we never made it clear. That's the great part about confusion as a psychological trick, because I don't even have to put the blame on myself for making the mistake. I can just blame it on the fact that we were both confused. And then it makes it so that you can't even be mad now. Because how can you be mad when, if I would have known, if we would have talked about it before, I wouldn't have made the mistake, right? It's very frustrating. I've done this to people. I've also had it done to me. I know it's very frustrating, because you literally feel like when someone is doing that to you, you feel like I'm not even allowed to be mad right now, because it's being blamed on the confusion. But I'm so mad because I know that that's something that you should have known or been able to like guesstimate. I don't think that it's so hard to guesstimate that, but now the mistake has already been made. So what can I do now? It's like the mistake has already been made, and I'm upset that the mistake has already been made. Anyways, it sucks, but I'll tell you for real, that's a real thing. So dream selling was number 1. Infatuation was number 2. Isolation was number 3. We have confusion as number 4. And number 5, we have friendship. Okay. Now, friendship is we might stay on this one for a while, because this is a wild one. Okay. So I can pretend as a guy, we're going to get deep in this one. This one grinds my gears. I can pretend to be your friend with pure intentions, or pretend like the women in my life are all just my friends with pure intentions. This is, pay attention to this one. I'm going to go on a rant. This is a great psychological trick for men to use. Okay. This friendship thing. Okay. You want to know why? Because friendship is innocent. Friendship is pure. Friendship is about caring and loving someone platonically that you just want to see do well and want to do the best for. Friendship represents us all holding hands and singing Kumbaya, where nobody does anything except for doing the best thing out of the kindness of their heart. Not because it serves them, not because it's good for them, not because it's what they need or what's best for them, but because it's what's best for you. Because we're friends and our friendship is the most important thing to me. I'm wearing pink because I'm soft and I want to be your friend. And I just want us to vibe and live in this utopia where everything is sunshines and rainbows and there's a light breeze and everything's just so amazing. Friendship. Okay, it's a lie. It's a great psychological trick. Why? Because truthfully, I'll be so real with you. I don't care. I don't care what any other man tells you. I don't care. 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 Any man that is trying to make, now there's a difference between having a casual friend that you know and that you speak to every now and again, and having like an ongoing friendship that is like you see them or speak to them every single week or every day, right? I'm talking about the ongoing friendships with people that you see to and you speak to every day or every week, right? Like this is ongoing all the time. There is no reason for us as men, truthfully and honestly, I'm being so for real with you. Listen to what I'm saying, because you're not in love with me. I have no invested interest in telling you a lie right now. Okay? There is no reason for us as men to be friends with women unless it somehow serves us. Okay? What I mean by that is, if it was truly about the companionship of the friendship, if it was truly about the fact that I just need someone to be friends with and get along with and spend time with, I can easily do that with a man. You want to know why? Because men can give me companionship, can give me friendship, can get along with me. Also, the men will better be able to understand my life perspective because they are men. So we're even going to have an easier time getting along because he understands to a certain extent what I go through as a man. So I say that to say, if we're truly talking solely about the companionship, logic will tell you that companionship makes more sense with men than it does to try and actively build companionship with women. Not to say that you can't ever have a single woman friend as a man. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having casual friends, but this idea that, oh, we are best friends, me and this girl. I have a best friendship or an ongoing friendship with the girl that I speak to every single day, but we're just friends. I'm here to be one of the only honest men in your life that will truly tell you, look, this ongoing friendship thing where everything is, oh my God, it's sing kumbaya and rainbows and sunshines and we just all want to be friends with the women. It's not really about the friendship. Even if I convince myself it's about the friendship, it's about how you serve me. Now, in the process of that, I'm going to be honest with you. There are times where the way that you're serving him might not necessarily just be, oh, I'm friends with you because I find you attractive. Okay? It can also be a scenario. There's 3 possible scenarios. Okay? I'm in a friendship with you because I find you physically attractive, right? As a woman. I'm in a friendship with you, not because I find you physically attractive, but because you are attracted to me. And the process of you being attracted to me and desiring me, I know that and I can feel that. That's an ego boost to me. And so I'm serving myself by getting an ego boost by spending time with someone who I know likes me and will validate me anytime I need or am seeking validation. That's the second one. The third one is if somehow you're in a position to help me get to where I want to go. You're a stepping stone, i.e., let's say you work very closely with the boss. Let's say you're a step ahead of me at my job. You work very closely with the boss. I'll create a friendship out of you, hoping that getting in your good graces will serve me by getting me farther in my career. Those are the three scenarios in which men are going to try to be your friend. I'm just going to tell you the truth. I'm not talking about a casual friend, but I'm talking about building this ongoing friendship with you. It's going to be one of those three. The guys who want to tell you that it's strictly just for the companionship, just because they want so badly to be friends with the girl, BS, okay? Because if you were ugly and useless and 800 pounds, he wouldn't give a damn about your true, genuine friendship. I can assure you. Have you ever noticed that the girls who are 800 pounds and ugly and useless don't really seem to have that many genuine guy friends? They don't seem to have guys falling all over themselves saying, oh my God, your personality is so amazing that I would just love to be your friend just because I vibe with you so well that your friendship would mean so much to me. Have you ever noticed that the girls who are ugly, their friendship doesn't seem to mean that much? Okay? So I say that to say this friendship thing is a great psychological trick for two reasons. Because one, it allows him to sneak his way into your life in an innocent way that you don't realize what his true intentions are, right? Whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single, because some of these guys will even operate under the guidelines of friendship while you're in a relationship, knowing that they don't have no damn intentions of just being your friend, but they want to hold off on letting you know what their true intentions are and operate under these guidelines of friendship that you won't be forced to tell him, hey, I'm not here for that, right? Guys will wait their turn for as long as they need to wait if they feel like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And so they'll sit back and relax under the shade of friendship, hoping that maybe one day something might change. Vice versa, when they're in a relationship or a talking stage or they're dealing with someone else, they will also deal with you if they want to keep you around for one of those three reasons that I just mentioned, under the guidelines and the shade of friendship that, hey, we're friends, so it's appropriate for you to continue being my ongoing best friend while I have a girlfriend. It's appropriate for us to be having this best friendship where we spend so much time together and we paint each other's nails and we have so much fun and we lick each other's tongues under the guidelines of our friendship. It's a great psychological trick that guys can play on girls, both sides, the girls who are single and the girls that they're in relationships with. He can also trick you. Let's say I'm in a relationship with you. I can trick you by telling you, oh, this girl that you're worried about, she's just my friend. We're just friends. And so what can you say to that? When I convince you that, oh, I just like so much better being friends with girls. I just like so much better being around the girls and being friends with all the girls. I don't like making friends with other guys. I want to make friends with all the girls. What can you say to that? Right? It's almost like a version of gaslighting because you feel crazy for having a problem with the fact that he has such a close ongoing friendship with this girl. Okay? LM says girls say this though. I agree. I've experienced it as well, where the girls will say, I don't know, do you guys have any girlfriends, or are you the girl that says, oh, I like to have all guy friends because girls are too much drama? Some girls are like that. And usually what's happening when the girls say, oh, I like being friends with guys because the girls are too much drama, what's really happening is the girls just like the validation of being the only girl around. I don't know if you guys know any girls like that, okay? So, because it's happened to me before. Someone says a new lip balm. No, this is actually still Aquaphor, just in chapstick version. I'm gonna get them to sponsor me. I'm gonna get them to give me like a brand deal. This is still Aquaphor. It's just in chapstick version. Okay. All right. Lily says, I know a girl like that, but they talk about her when she's not around. That's insane. Nifasimi says, I swear he used to put cream on his lips. No. No cream. Just Aquaphor. Vicky says, I only believe it when I see her and don't find her attractive. But if she is, no, that don't work for me. Right? But think about it, Vicky. Think about this logic. How many times do you really see? I mean, well, to be fair, that's true. You might not find the girl attractive. And there also, like I said, there's 3 different reasons why the guy could be operating this friendship. It gets him further in his career or a stepping stone for where he wants to go. Or even if it's not that he finds her physically attractive, sometimes it's that the girl finds him physically attractive. And then the ego boost that he gets from being around a girl who's really into him or wants him is also serving him. This is why I say in the process, we call this show the Players Club. In the process of joining the Players Club, it's like, I know some of you might have heard of the red pill. It's like taking the pink pill. So your woman version's like taking the pink pill. Because when you take the pink pill, it's funny, I'm wearing pink. When you take the pink pill, not swallowing me, swallowing the pink pill. When you take the pink pill, you come to the realization that in relationships, even in love, people are actually looking for how they can best serve themselves. And so even when someone truly loves you, and I mean genuinely loves you, it can still be genuine, but at the same time of it being genuine, they genuinely love you because of the way you genuinely serve them. And it doesn't always have to mean serve them, oh, you're giving them Squirtle, or serve them, oh, you have amazing head, or something like that. It can even mean serving them in the person that you are, the things that you do for them, the fact that you'll be a loyal partner to them. That is also serving them. It doesn't always have to be a malicious thing. But that realization will help you understand when you're going about your relationships. Oh, I understand you're operating under the guidelines of serving yourself. So this friendship isn't about when people try to convince you of things like, oh my God, we're friends because I just love doing so much for her. I just love being there so much for her. Yeah, I just have to be there for her or make sure she's taken care of because without me, she'll fall apart, or without me, she won't be able to live or breathe or anything like that. People will love to present to you that they're doing things for other people because of the kindness of their heart. And you kind of have to reverse your thinking and realize that people are only ever going to do things that serve them. People aren't going to go out of their way to do things for other people simply because it only serves other people. Even when, right? And I know this still has to do with the friendship, because the friendship is that genuine thing that people want to project onto you that, hey, I'm doing this for the sake of the friendship just because we sing Kumbaya and everything's amazing. Even when I go on the street and I give a homeless man $1,000 on the street, the homeless man goes, oh gosh, thank you so much. I never expected it. I've never had anyone give me this much money. And I've been starving all day and I haven't had a meal in the past 2 days. I thank you so much, sir. You're so kind. You're so generous. You're so amazing. I'm going to get me a meal. I'm going to get me a fresh meal. I'm going to get me a bed. I'm going to take a shower. And he's just bawling out of his eyes, right? Right? Let's imagine you gave a homeless man $1,000 on the street. He's bawling out of his eyes. He's thanking you so much. He's screaming to the heavens how you're an angel sent from heaven. That's doing something for you. Okay? You might not realize it. It might not be obvious to you, but that is doing something for you. Even the process of you giving to someone out of the kindness of your heart is serving you in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't always have to be physically. Sometimes it is just emotionally, right? Because you get the euphoric feeling of feeling like you helped someone. So that still did something for you, right? The process of you giving still made you feel good because that person is so grateful that you gave to them and did something for them. You see how that works? And I only bring up that example is because I want you to understand the concept that in all versions of relationships, people are doing things that serve them. So when a guy, or even a girl, if you're a guy listening to this, when someone comes to you and tells you, hey, I have this girl best friend and I need to keep this friendship good and stable and connected because of her, because she needs me, and because I'm such a generous, kind person and I split myself so many different ways that I need to be there for her, realize that is a lie. Because if it was really only about her, he wouldn't bother with the relationship. That relationship, or friendship, I should say, is doing something for him, which is why he's investing his time and energy in that friendship. Okay? Right? So that's part of taking the pink pill. That's part of joining the Players Club, is understanding that people are going to do things that serve them. And rather than living in a dream world where people don't do things to serve them, it's better for you to understand how and why people are doing things to serve them, that you can understand what you need for yourself to serve you, and if those things align. Because you can be in a relationship where you're serving each other, and the ways that you serve each other works for both of you and everyone's happy. But you're living in a dream world if you feel like, oh, the only genuine version of love is when I love you for the sake of loving you, not because you do anything for me. Do you see what I mean there? Do you see the distinction? Okay, that's why the friendship is a great psychological trick, right? Because men love to wait it out. They'll sit back and relax, allow you to go about whether you're the one in the relationship and he's just friends with you. He'll sit back under the guidelines of friendship and be like, I'm innocent. I don't want anything from you. I just want to be friends with you. Great trick. Opposite way, when he's in a relationship and you're his friend, it's amazing for him to come to you as his girlfriend and say, whoa, this is just an innocent friendship, girl. I don't want anything from her. I don't need anything from her. She doesn't do anything for me. It's just a friendship, I'm only there for her when she needs me because of the kindness of my heart. It's just, we're only friends, and it's just, we just hang out, but it's nothing serious. She's just been a friend to me. I'm not receiving anything from her. She doesn't validate me. I don't find her attractive. I'm just friends with her for the sake of being friends with her. Great trick. Trust me, it's a great trick. Because once again, you begin gaslighting yourself and thinking to yourself, well, I guess they are friends just because he's such a kind person. I guess it's not appropriate because they haven't done anything inappropriate. It's funny. I was watching Love is Blind, actually, the newest season of Love is Blind. You guys should go watch it if you haven't. I was watching the newest season of Love is Blind, and I forget his name. I don't know if his name was Jimmy or what his name was. Anyways, he was, for those of you who have watched Love is Blind, you can confirm if you noticed this. He was talking to his girl about the fact that he wanted the girl because you guys should know how Love is Blind works. They go and they marry people that they've never seen in person. They just talk to. So the girl that he was engaged with, he was like, okay, I want you to meet my best friends. And he had 2 girl best friends. So he brought her to meet the 2 girl best friends. And in the process of her meeting the 2 girl best friends, he was like, yeah, they're really important to me. I really want to hear their opinions and all that good stuff. And I really want them to like you. And I was watching that, and I literally said to myself, as soon as I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, he slept with one of those 2 girls, 100%. Well, like 1000%. This idea that the 2 best friends that he wants their opinion, that he spends the most time with and spends talking to, is just for the sake of his kindness of his heart, and he just loves the friendship so much. That's ridiculous. He slept with at least one of those girls at one time, and if he hasn't slept with both of them, he slept with one, and then the other one likes him, and he just hasn't given her the time of day. It's some sort of dynamic there. And I knew that in my mind. And I said that when I was watching the show. And lo and behold, come later in a couple of episodes later, the girl that he was engaged to literally mentions on screen, because he talked to her about it off screen, that he had slept with one of those girl best friends. And that's why she was uncomfortable with that friendship ongoing, because he'd be texting her all the time and calling her like basically every day. And I was like, oh, and he got mad because she mentioned it on camera. And I was like, oh, of course. The men, I get it, because the men, we want to defend ourselves and we don't want to let people in on our intentions. So a lot of times, if a man like me is coming out and saying, look, men don't really want to be your friend, or just your friend, other men will be like, no, stop it. He's a liar. He has no idea what he's talking. He's an idiot. That guy's an idiot. I can be friends with girls. I have tons of girlfriends. I don't think anything of it. I'm an evolved man. Okay, I don't require anything from these women. You're disgusting. The fact that you even think of women like you're disgusting. You're such an unevolved man. Don't listen to this man's lies. He's a liar. Don't listen to his lies. Right? And they get so upset and so angry that I would dare utter the idea and the concept that they're truly not interested in the genuine friendship. Those men are lying to you. I don't know how else to say it. They're just lying to you. It's a flat out lie. Okay? And they're all going to try to convince you of that, because the longer they can convince you of that, the easier they can play that psychological trick on you. And for some men, it's so hard to accept. For some men, they don't ever want to accept that. They don't ever want to accept the idea that they're doing things for a purpose and not for no reason. That's a newsflash to you. To those of you who want to step inside the Players Club, a newsflash to you: people do not do things for no reason. I don't know is actually not an answer. Sometimes people use I don't know as a supplement for I actually haven't analyzed why I did that thing or said that thing, right? So sometimes they don't know because they actually haven't thought about why they did that or analyzed that. But a lot of the time, I don't know is really, I don't want to be honest with you about what my intentions were or why I did that thing. Okay, and I don't want to accept that that's the reason, because truthfully, we all have reasonings for doing things. There's a reason you're here with me, listening to me. It's not because you love me so much and I'm so amazing. It's because I'm giving you information that you know you can use to get a better relationship, not just because you love me so much and I'm wearing pink. Okay? You're here for a reason, and that reason serves you. Even when you're sitting at home and you're watching entertainment, you're not watching that entertainment just for the simple fact it's entertainment. You're watching that entertainment because it serves you. Everything you do in your life is serving you directly or indirectly. You might not even realize it, all the little things that you do that serve you. Even in your relationship and your friendships, you're invested in those relationships and friendships because somehow, some way, if you dig deep enough, they serve you in one way or another. There's a reason you don't bother striking up a conversation with every stranger you walk by with on the street, because not every friendship or relationship is going to serve you. Okay? So men keep women around that they're interested in, or that give them some sort of validation, or in a very rare scenario, she can be a stepping stone to some sort of career path or to get somewhere in life. You understand what I mean? So those are the three guidelines under what most men will be friends with women. Now, I'll be the one to just go out and say, I'll be the bigger man and say, hey, maybe I don't know what every guy has ever thought in his entire life. And maybe there are guys out there who want to be your genuine friend for genuine reasons and solely platonic and have no ulterior motives. Sure. I won't pretend as if I know what every man is thinking. But if I'm being honest with you, and I had to bet my money, I would bet my money that majority of men have some sort of ulterior motive that is not related to just being your genuine platonic friend for the sake of being your genuine platonic friend. Okay? I'll let the men who say that that's not the case tell you that that's not the case. I'm not going to spend time arguing too much about that. All right? So number 1 is dream selling. Number 2 is infatuation. Number 3 is isolation. Number 4 is confusion. Number 5 is friendship. And number 6, we have silence. Okay? Now, not the silence you're thinking of. So he'll stop talking so that you don't know how he actually feels and thinks, and you can project onto him what you think he's like. This is a great one, and I've used this one. When you go out on dates, so let's say you and me, we go out on a date. I'm wearing pink just like this. We go out on a date together, and we're sitting down, and we're chatting and this and that. We get good food, great ambiance, all that good stuff. I'm dressed amazing. I look amazing. And on this date, right, I'm letting you do most of the talking. but I'm doing that on purpose, and I stay silent on purpose. We go through this entire 2.5 hour date. We eat good food, good appetizer, good dessert. And I do such a good job of not talking and allowing you to talk that by the end of the day, you don't really realize even that I haven't done much talking. And so this goes on for the next couple of dates. And that just becomes the vibe where you're doing a lot of talking and I'm not really saying too much. But you don't realize that I haven't said anything. And so because I haven't said anything, you don't really have an understanding of who I am, what I'm about, what my background is, what my past has been. So what happens when you don't actually know me? You project onto me your thoughts or ideas of who I am or what I'm like. And because of your dreams, remember dream selling was number one, because you want to live in your Disney princess movie and you want me to be your Prince Charming, when I'm silent, when I'm quiet as a church mouse and I don't say anything, what happens is you fill in the blanks of my personality and my character with your dream man, which is great for me. Makes it that much easier for me. And now, this is the great part about the psychological trick of the silence. Now, if you even were to ever find out that I'm not like what you anticipated, that I'm not like your dream man, that I'm not like your Prince Charming, I can hide under the guidelines of, oh, you didn't ask, so I didn't tell you that I cheated on my ex. You didn't ask, so I didn't tell you that my past few girlfriends, I've struggled with long distance. And so that's why I ended up talking to this new girl because I couldn't handle the long distance, right? Omission works so well when you're silent because then I can blame the fact that, oh, I would have told you, but you never asked. What? What? Wait, what? But I wouldn't even know to ask because you didn't talk about it. You didn't mention it. You didn't even let me know that there was something to ask there, right? And so the silence can serve in two different ways, right? The silence can serve because you can project onto me a personality, which is good for me. It lets you think I'm your dream man, and then when I'm not, you can't blame it on me. And then also, if you catch me in a lie, right? Or you figure out that I've been deceiving you, I can just pretend like, oh, I would have told you, but you didn't ask. I was silent, but I wasn't silent because I didn't want to tell you or I was lying to you. I was just silent because you didn't ask anything. And if you would have asked of me something, I would have told you. Right? And it's very easy to lie by omitting things when you're silent. That's why it's a great psychological trick. Once again, you get gaslit because I'm telling you, oh, but it's so unfortunate that if you would have just asked me if she had, you asked me if we slept together and I said no because that's the truth. But if you would have just asked me if she sucked me off 3 or 4 times, I would have told you that she sucked me off 3 or 4 times. You didn't ask me though. So I didn't tell you because you didn't ask. If you would have just asked me specifically, did she suck you off 3 or 4 times? I would have told you, yeah, she sucked me off 3 or 4 times. One time I didn't bust. And we would have been all good. We wouldn't have been confused. Everything would have been straight, but you should have just asked me. I didn't know. Right? Silence is a great psychological trick because if I know I'm going to make a mistake or I know I've already made a mistake, but I'm silent about it, that you wouldn't even know to ask about it. If you do find out about it, I can just pretend as if I was going to tell you about it or going to be honest with you about it, knowing that I never had any intention of being honest with you about it. But it's a perfect way to gaslight you into feeling like you're crazy or feeling like you're wrong for being super upset at me. Great trick. Okay? Great trick. To be honest with you, right? Because it's easier for me to not speak and allow you to assume. That way, when your assumptions are wrong, I can tell you you're wrong for assuming, even though you had nothing to base your thoughts or feelings off of because I didn't tell you anything, right? But I didn't tell you anything on purpose. You see how that works? But because I didn't tell you anything on purpose and nothing was said and you didn't know that it was on purpose, you can't speak to my intention if I didn't do anything. That's the great part about the silence. The act of non-action allows me to hide under the veil and the wall that you can't prove that was my intention if it was based on non-action. Sounds weird, but when you think about it, it makes sense, right? Right? And so the less I speak, I can gaslight you by saying I didn't tell you because you didn't ask. It's a great way to lie by omission. I don't know of those of you who believe in or understand the concept of lying by omission, but I would be the first one to tell you, whether you're a guy or girl, it's a great way. It's a great psychological trick to play on people when you're trying to finesse them in a relationship, right? Lying by omission, because you easily get to hide under the idea that, oh, I would have told you if you would have just asked me. I would have told you if you would have just said something. I would have told you if you would have just asked me that question specifically. It slipped my mind, so I didn't say anything. I only answer the questions that I'm asked. I only speak when I'm spoken to. That's why I also tell you guys, make sure that when you go out on these dates, you're asking a lot of questions. Right? You can enchant him and still ask him questions. I know I say to be enchanting. You don't have to make it feel like an interview or an interrogation. Okay? You can do it in a way that's enchanting, that he doesn't realize you're pulling a whole bunch of information out of him. That's actually what the trick is all about. The trick is all about enchanting him and casting a spell over him, that you can then do what you actually need to be doing, which is extracting information out of him. Okay? That's why you don't want to go out on these dates waiting for a guy to tell you what you want to hear. Because when you go out on these dates with the mindset that you're just waiting for a guy to tell you what you want to hear, the moment a guy starts speaking the things that you were hoping for him to say, you're going to become enchanted, and you're going to forget about everything else that you wanted to figure out about him. And you're going to just believe in the storyline that he's telling you without questioning anything, right? You got to be doing the opposite. You've got to be enchanting him, that you can pull out of him everything that you want to pull out of him. Okay? Anetra, sorry, I'm like butchering your name. I want to make sure I get it right. Anitra, I think, says, why what you don't ask, they won't mention. I 100% agree. 100% agree. 100% agree. If you don't ask it, they will not mention it. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing. The omission is a great thing, right? That silence is a great thing. As says, extracting information and money. Hey, if you want to extract money too, that's perfectly fine. I don't advise you guys to only be focused on money, but if you want money, it's fine with me. Okay, so number 1, selling dreams. Number 2, we have infatuation. Number 3, isolation. Number 4, confusion. Number 5, friendship. Number 6 was silence. Now, number 7, we have a great one that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. Number 7 is hot and cold. Okay. Now, being unpredictable in my approach and desire for you, that you become confused and start spiraling. Okay. This is an awesome psychological trick that the guys use, especially girls use it too, but it's a great psychological trick. The hot and cold effect will have you spiraling into a pit of despair where you don't know how I feel about you, what I want from you, if I even want you. And that process will make you more interested and more enchanted by me and obsessed with me, that you can't think clearly or think straight, and I can control you once again. I'm in control of the situation, and I'm in control of your mind. Because let's say we're on a date, right? We go out on this first date. This first date's so amazing. I talk to you. We have great chat, great banter. We're laughing. We're giggling. I'm talking about this and that, and talking about a second date. And I'm talking about how much I'm enjoying this and how amazing it is. And then after the second date, I just don't text you. I don't talk to you. I don't call you. I don't nothing. And you're kind of like, what? what happened to this guy? And then a week later, I text you, oh, I was just busy for a whole week. Do you want to go out on a date tomorrow? And you're so excited that I actually texted you again or called you again or reached out to you that you're like, sure, let's go on a date. Then we have another date and it's so amazing and it's so exciting and you have so much fun and all this good stuff. And then again, I ghost you. Right? Or some sort of process of this, of like going, having fun, spending time, and then poof, they're gone. And then they're back now. And you spend time, poof, they're gone again. And that hot and cold cycle is a great psychological trick to play on someone for two reasons. First of all, it grows their desire for you because they become obsessed with you because they're just thinking about you all the time. And they're thinking about, oh my God, if this person doesn't want me, I want them more now because I feel like they don't want me. So I feel like I have to convince them to want me by doing more. Right? And then the second thing that the hot and cold does for you, aside from them just being more interested in you, is you get more out of people that you're hot and cold with because you put them in a position where you're flipping the script on them where they feel like they have to prove themselves to you. So in the process of them feeling like they have to prove themselves to you, you also get the advantage of having to do less for them. Right? You get to feed them the bare minimum, even less than the bare minimum, because they're not focused on receiving from you. They're focused on giving to you that you can be more interested and like them more. Right? And as you like them more, they feel more validated and they're just chasing after the validation because you're hot and cold. They're looking for any signs of validation. And so because you're so desperate for the validation, because I'm hot and cold, now when I feed you small breadcrumbs that regularly you would never accept from a man, right? You're so happy that I would even give you the smallest breadcrumb because you know that right after that small breadcrumb is coming the disappearance again, and you're never going to see or hear from me for a while, right? And the cycle of hot and cold is a great way to damage your ego by making you insecure about the relationship. And it allows me to easily control you because of that. Your ego's damaged by me. So you want to repair your ego with me. And the way you do that is by trying to please me, do things for me, show me that you're worth my time and attention and for me to just be hot with you and never cold with you. And so you're doing things for me. You're chasing after me. You're trying to convince me to like you. And then in return, I can do even less for you. We had a situation yesterday in the Discord. By the way, we're about to hop into the Discord in just a couple of minutes. If you have a question, make sure you put it in there so that I can answer it. I'm obviously going to answer a little bit more today. We had a question literally in the Discord that was exactly that, a guy being hot and cold. And she was asking, I forget what her name was, but she was asking in the Discord, what should I do? Should I tell him that I like him? Should I go for it? Should I do the extra effort? And I was literally like, no, you're literally putting yourself in a position where you're trying to convince a guy to like you back. And that's never going to make him like you. If he actually does, he'll pursue you, and that's where you want him to be. You're never going to be in a good relationship where you're convincing someone to like you, especially as the woman. Okay. So, because if I'm hot and cold with you, this is why it's a great psychological trick. I can give you less, right? I can give you less if you're scared that in the near future, I'll be cold again. That fear that, oh my God, in the next couple of days, he's going to stop talking to me or he's going to disappear again, or you know, I'm not going to be as important or a priority to him, is going to lead you to being so nervous that now anything I do give you, anything I do for you, and even in the smallest little tiniest bit, you're going to, first of all, you're going to super appreciate it and you're going to cherish it. And you're gonna feel so happy for the little breadcrumb that I give you because you're ready for me to starve you for the next couple of days. And that's why it's a great trick, because under those guidelines, I can control you and do absolutely anything with you that I want. Okay. Tic-tac-toe says, I watch your videos more than actually talking to men. That's funny. At least for when you finally do start talking to men, you'll be well prepared. Okay. That's the great part. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about anything we discussed today? So those were the 7 psychological, there's obviously more, but those were 7 psychological tricks men use. We got dream selling, infatuation, isolation, confusion, friendship, silence, and hot and cold. Okay, those were the 7 for today. Do you guys have any more questions as it relates to what we discussed for this topic today before we hop into the Discord? Like I said, if you have questions in the Discord, make sure you hop in there and you ask those questions in the Discord. Okay. What to do when they're hot and cold? Do we do the same? No. If someone's hot and cold, it's good for you to identify that. And it's not necessarily a reason to leave the relationship, but you need to be focused on how can you cast a spell back on them? Because if they feel comfortable being hot and cold with you, you're doing something wrong. You're not casting the right spell on them. Okay. So you might need to pull back that they can feel their coldness met with nothing. Because the hot and cold method really only works for a guy, at least, when he understands that during the cold period, you're going to be reaching out to him. You're going to be desperate for his attention. You're going to fill in the fact that he's cold with moving closer towards him. So my advice to you would be you have to take a step back so he can realize that that doesn't affect you. It actually is a worse outcome for him. Okay? That's how you flip that. Someone says, how do we deal with those tactics? Well, I kind of talked about them in each one, but it's the very first thing is identifying the tactics, which is what we did here, that you can, and when you're in your relationships, you can realize that it's going on. And like I always say, the first step on these dates, you have to enchant the man and cast the spell on the man that you can be in control of the relationship. And then you also need to go into there understanding you're not going to be convinced by the first thing he tells you that's in line with your Disney princess syndrome, right? You don't, because that's what a lot of you are doing. You're going into these dates, right? Being like, I can't wait for him to tell me that he's my Prince Charming and that I'm a Disney princess in this Disney princess movie. And then the moment he tells you, yeah, I've always wanted to have a wife and have children and I'm so ready to settle down. This guy that you met on Hinge, he's like, yeah, I'm so ready to settle down and I'm so ready to start a family. And then when he sleeps with you on the first night, gone, disappeared into thin air. And you're like, what happened to all the good stuff you were talking about? It was fake. That's what happened. Okay. Someone says, what if they say they love me, but don't show it? Put that one in the Discord. I'll answer that one if you have a real situation. By the way, guys, when you're asking the questions in the Discord, you need to ask me about a real situation. So if your question is, how do I get a guy to text me back in 3 seconds? Don't bother asking it in the Discord. You need to have a real situation that you actually want real help with, not something generic and vague. This is my word of advice. If you're only here to ask me a single question and you never want to participate in the live stream again, go ahead and don't ask the question. Like, the Discord is only for people who want to be part of the club and really participate here and be an ongoing member where we're all learning from each other. Don't just use it as, I want to get my question answered and then I'm never going to show up again. Don't do that. Because I'll know and I'll find you. Okay. In the YouTube chat, Kamara, welcome back, Kamara. I love your name, Kamara, by the way. At this point, I guess I will just be single for the rest of my life. The men I'm attracted to are not ever interested in settling down. You mean like the rich, awesome, attractive men? I mean, you could get that out of them. Trust me. There are rich, awesome, attractive men that are married. Linda said he's trying to do that to me right now. See, now you know. Madison says, what does it mean when guys don't want to date you or be your friend? Does it have anything to do about you necessarily or their choice in friends or partners? When he doesn't want to date you, that could be a combination. Him not wanting to date you could be because he's not that interested in you. It could also be because maybe he's not mentally or spiritually ready. It could also be because maybe he has another girl that he likes better, right? Oh yes, SH said it. I forgot to mention it. If you're on TikTok and you want to ask the question in the Discord, you just head over to the link in my bio on TikTok and you'll find the link to the Discord. Just open it in browser if it's not working for you properly. And then for those of you who are on Twitter, those of you who are on YouTube, it's just at the bottom of the link in the description. You can find the Discord link there and click it, and you can ask me the question in the Discord. We have some, trust me, I know for a fact we're going to have some amazing stuff in the Discord. Let's hop into the Discord right now anyways, because it's Discord time. Everyone spam, it's Discord time. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. We always have some interesting stories on the Discord. I actually quite enjoy this portion of the show. I won't lie to you, because I get to help you guys, but then also you guys get to see how crazy some other people's lives are, which is kind of interesting. You know, it's like, you know, you just get to step into someone else's world. Okay, so we're going to be answering some of these questions in the Discord. It's Discord time. It's Discord time. Very important. When I bring up the Discord, I want you guys to also be answering and letting your opinion be known in the Discord. I don't just want it to be my opinion, because when these people watch it back, because I'm sure they're part of the show, which is why I said it's so important to be part of the show, because that's when you're going to get your question answered. When these people watch this back, right, and they're getting their answers on their situations, I want them to be able to not just hear from me, but also hear from you, the women, from a woman's perspective. And that will be awesome. Okay. Oh, we already did this. By the way, if you're in the Discord, this is a past question. If you're in the Discord and you should be in the Discord and you're a member, right, you can actually respond to people in the Discord, which is awesome. So if you have a detailed response that you want to give them personally, maybe you've been through a similar situation, you can go ahead and type out your reply underneath there. So that's why it's so awesome in the Discord, okay? Because we can all help each other out. Oh, I already did that question, which is why that was just a reply. So let's go to College Crush. I think I did this one yesterday too. Yep, this was Key's College Crush question. We have Melissa. I did that one too. That was from yesterday. Am I being stupid? Did I read this one? Oh yeah, I read this one. Am I being stupid? Catalina says my update. Did you have an update? What was your, are you Keys in this? Is that you, Catalina? Are you Keys? What was your update? I'm not sure what your update was. I don't know which one you are. You got to tell me which one. You're Cali. Let's see here. Where was Cali's? Cali's was far down. Cali up here. What was your update? Oh, update. Wise through yesterday, Ace. Okay. So we'll go through Callie's update. So real quick, we'll read through Callie's situation, and then we'll do her update, because apparently Callie has an update. So we've done Callie's situation before. I've answered this question. I won't go through my answer for the original question. I'll just go through my answer for the update. So for those of you who want to read through, I already know what Callie's situation is. If you want to read through Callie's situation, screenshot it and read it. Okay, I just want to skim through it and then answer her question. So if you want to get this information, just screenshot it or go to the Discord and read it. So for her update, she says, the Y's get bigger. Yesterday, I threw him a let's call Ace, a test saying I don't want to provoke my ex into doing something more drastic. I'm thinking possible revenge corn, and that I want him to lift the ban. He said not only that he will not lift the ban, but he has been actively monitoring my ex and making sure he never gets transferred to the club. Dude will basically end his whole career over this situation. In my honest opinion, this level of investment is strange to say the least. So if you guys just want to too long didn't read summary of this, basically Callie's situation is a CEO of, she doesn't say football club, but we obviously can surmise the football club. Basically a CEO of a football club kicked her ex out because her ex did some messed up stuff to her. And she is questioning if he's doing this because he actually is interested in her, or maybe is it because, he is just doing it out of the kindness of his heart. So that's Callie's update. And she's thinking that there's no way he's going to these lengths simply because he's just interested in her. And my honest answer to you, Callie, still is that you have to understand, if he's the CEO of a football club and this football club is generating millions of dollars, getting rid of problems is always his number one priority. So if there's you're thinking that he's doing it for you, but you also have to understand the more he suppresses problems, like because one of his former players posting revenge corn is also a bad look on him. In this situation, getting out and him being the CEO of the club is also a bad look for him. Stomping out the fire so that it never becomes an issue, whether or not he's on the club, is good for him. And I don't say that to say, oh, he's only doing it because it's good for him. But I want you to understand, as the CEO, his main job is to put out fires. And if a player or a former player on his team is doing things that is detrimental to team success or makes the team look bad, or even as the CEO makes it look like he is hiring bad players or a bad judgment of character, so he has players who are doing some questionable stuff on his team, all of that is a reflection on him, and all of that are things that he would actively want to that he would actively want to get rid of in this situation. So I say that to say, unless he's specifically reaching out to you and being like, hey, I want to go out on a date with you, or hey, I want us to spend some one-on-one time together, that's totally different. But the fact that he's just helping you with the situation that really actually serves him does not mean that he's romantically interested in you. Sorry. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why actually it's perfect that we talked about this, in realizing that people are doing things to serve themselves first before they're doing it to serve you. Because in your mind, I think you're projecting the fact that you like this guy or you're interested in this guy to think that, oh, he's doing this nice thing because he wants me. When in reality, you're not seeing that he's really doing it because this actually really serves him very much. Okay, so that's my advice to you. So that was Callie's update. You guys can reread through that if you really want to see Callie's situation. Okay, let's see here. So we have Style and Beauties, I believe we did yesterday. We have I'm his first relationship. Okay, this is a good one. Okay. I'm going to read this simply because maybe one of you have been through a similar situation. In the future, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're under 20 years old, we're not doing you. Okay. If you're 18 years old, you need to be in school reading your books. Okay. You don't need to be worried about boys or relationships. You have so much more life to live. I'm only going to read this as a way if it can apply to other people and help other people. Other than that, you should be reading your books, okay? He confessed that he had liked me for 2 years until he mustered up the courage to finally talk to me. We talked for about 2 months until he asked me to be his girlfriend. So you're talking about since he was 16. He took me out on a date and I didn't realize I have to worry about money as expected. To be honest, he's quite a gentleman. Nothing exactly wrong in our relationship per se. But because I am his first girlfriend, I'm just wondering if you have any tips or advice. The question may seem silly, but I just want to know. Okay, look, you're 18. He's liked you for 2 years since he was 16. That man doesn't even know the Pythagorean theorem yet. You understand what I mean? He has no idea how he fits into this world. He has no idea what his passions are. He has no idea what he wants to be. Okay. So I say that to say he is questioning his own life and existence. He has to figure out so much about himself before he can even properly be a man for you. So I understand you're exploring relationships, but like you're 18. Okay. And there's so much life that you have to realize and understand before you can even have real serious adult relationships. Like your version of a relationship is not going to resemble the things that we talk about, because we're talking about people that are grown with like jobs and careers. You will eventually get there, but you're not there yet. Like you're still in school doing regular 18-year-old stuff. Okay. You have so much life to live. Don't be worried about boys. Okay. I'm done with that. If you're under 20 years old, do not bother asking me a question in Discord. This is for adults, okay? I know we used to say 18 plus, but under 20, you have so much to worry about. That doesn't need to be about boys, okay? User says, not to be mean, I just, like 18, you have so much else to be worried about. Does this mean I gave away pineapples? Okay, so this is going to be a good one, I can tell. I met a player 4 months. By the way, guys, when you guys send in questions, I want it to be like this. You see detail structure. The only thing you could have added, oh, you see even put point pair. Perfect. See how that's nice and structured? That's how I want the questions to be. This is awesome. I met a player 4 months ago. I am 19. He started love bombing me and playing love at first sight games. And I was telling him, you are lying. You can't love me from the first week. You're smart. You're a smart little cookie. He invited me to his house for dinner with his brother. He lives with his brother. Okay. And then he started kissing me and I did not stop. Oh, you're a little aged little girl. We slept in the same bed, but no pineapples happened. We did sleep in the same bed 3 times in a span of 3 weeks, but pineapples never happened. Then I told him, I do not give pineapples and I understand what you want. So go do it with other girls. And I blocked him. Okay. Then I unblocked him after 1 month because of false hope. I wasn't as mature as now. Okay. We got back together, but then I started pulling away because of school and he got angry so many times for not putting in effort, but that's just how I am. I always prioritize my sport. Okay. So you play a sport, and school over everything else, which you should. And also, we did sleep in the same bed for one more time, but after I told him that, clear, I won't have pineapples. And he ghosts me for 2 weeks and I don't do anything and then comes back. And then I ghost him for another 2 weeks. Anyways, I was treating him like he treats me. If he calls, I answer. If he does not, fine. Overall, we fought a lot and stayed away from each other for long times. And I'm not sure what this means. I think you might say at the end, I wanted it to end. So I started not responding to his messages and I was going to tell him to break up. So he did it first. I blocked him for good. My mistakes. I should have overcame my feelings and never unblocked him to get back together because I knew the truth since day one and I had bad hope. I should not have gone to his house for dinner, but I did not expect that. Still my mistake. My questions are, does sleeping in the same bed, not naked, kissing, hugging mean I gave out pineapples? I'm having hope. Okay, so we'll start with number 1. No. This kind of makes me feel like you're younger, but no. It does not mean that you gave out pineapples simply because you slept in the same bed as him. Obviously, he wanted more from you, but it's good that you didn't give him that. You did the right thing. Side note, I do think it's, if you're in school still and you have a sport that you're focused on, especially if you're a scholarship student, focus on that. Don't be worried about boys. Honestly, like they're only going to hold you back unless he really has good intention there. He's only going to hold you back from your potential, to be so real with you. I hate to make it sound horrible like that. Number 2 says, I'm having hope at all, but in these situations, is there ways you can fix it at the beginning? To fix it in the beginning, you kind of need to make your boundaries clear. That's the best way to make it clear in the beginning. I know that you said that you mentioned that, and then you went over to his house, and then, one thing led to another. My advice to you, aside from just making your boundaries clear, don't put yourself in a position to lose. What I mean by that is, I get that you slept in the same bed with him and nothing ended up happening. But when you put yourself in positions like that constantly where, oh, I'm not going to give in to temptation, but I'm going to put myself in a position where temptation would be easy to give into. Eventually, if you do that enough, you will give into temptation. And the problem is, when you finally do give into temptation, all you're going to do after that is regret the fact that you gave into temptation. And so the best course of action is to not even put yourself in that position in the first place. So the mistake is never really sleeping with him. The mistake is getting drunk with him, going over to his house, sleeping over to his bed, putting yourself in a position where you can't even make good decisions, or where the temptation is so strong that you can't think, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. You understand what I'm saying? Not that you got drunk with him. I'm just giving you the example of the concept, right? Like, that's the mistake, is doing all those things that put you in a position to be tempted and make the mistake. And so your third question was, does he think now that I did sleep with that many guys. I mean, why would he think that? I hope you're not as young as you're making yourself seem in these questions. Why would he think that you slept with him because you slept in the same bed as him? I don't know of any guy who considers that to be intercourse. Okay, I hope you're in college. Maybe you're just a naive person. Nothing wrong. Oh, you said you're 19. Sorry, I didn't even see that at the beginning. What did I say? If you're under 20, read your books. You need to be focused on your sport. Where was it? On your sport. Whatever your sport is, prioritize. See what you said? I always prioritize my sport and school. That's the only sentence you need to remember for the rest of, for the next year. I just said, someone said, how did you miss 19? I don't know. I just missed it. I was skimming. That's what you need to prioritize: school and your sport. Don't be worried about boys right now. You're still 19. You still have a lot of life to live. Not that you can't explore relationships, but this back and forth, you shouldn't be having toxic relationships at 19. The waste of your time. Okay. Relationships aren't even that prevalent or important in your life. Your eggs aren't drying up. You just worry about being the best you, and the best you is not being in trying to figure out if a guy likes you or not, or none of that. Okay. None of that. Focus on your sport and school. I missed the 19 part. I apologize, guys. That is actually, I think that's all the questions for that. I don't think anyone else had any other questions. The rest of these are just, if you see me skip any, it's not because I'm skipping it. It's because I've either answered it before and it's just pops up because there's more people answering on the thread. But it's not because I didn't answer. It's not because I didn't answer. I answered all of these. Okay. Lily said, you sound like a concerned father. I mean, yeah, I get that a lot. I sound very daddish. Now, obviously today's Friday. If you guys have any other questions, I'll, stay for a couple extra minutes and answer any of your other questions. Today's Friday. I think this is the longest we ever gone. We got 2.5 hours today. So if you guys have any other questions, I can sit back. I can stay and answer some of your other questions, and you can maybe be happy with that. Although I think most of you guys asked your questions in the Discord. Vicky in the YouTube chat says, back for the other situation, she said he was doing damage control to present a lawsuit. 100% I agree. Vicky says, men that are young only want pineapple. Stick to your boundaries. Real men will not pressure you and be genuine. Your instincts will tell you. I 100% agree. Vicky says, you are very self-aware and continue to learn from your mistakes. Keep strong. 100% agree. Okay. Friends section was great. Sweet said, I can't even say thank you for that. That's all them. Sharon says, I'm fascinated with the way your mind works. Have you ever been diagnosed as a psychopath? No, I haven't. You're talking about me, right? I haven't, but I'm sure if I actually did a test, I'd probably be diagnosed as a psychopath. I really enjoy working, and I enjoy like working all the time. So that's definitely a psychotic behavior, and I never feel like anything is enough. Like I always want more out of everything. You know what I mean? So that's definitely psychotic behavior. I'd probably be classified as a psychopath. I don't think any regular person would really enjoy working all the time and doing something all the time and being busy all the time. Most people just want to relax. I cannot sit down on my butt and relax. I hate that. I have to be doing something. Okay. LB says, I've been dating / talking to a guy for almost 4 months, but he has yet to ask me to be his girlfriend. Well, what do you think that means? What do you think that means if he's waiting that long? Now, to be fair, also give it some time, because some guys are also, you could be seeing a guy for 4 months and only seeing him once every 3 weeks. So you have to give him time to also learn you and be patient. There's a balance there. Some guys are actually trying to grow the relationship and decipher whether or not you're also the person they want to be with. So they're not just trying to jump into commitment, but that doesn't mean he's not putting in effort into the relationship. There's a difference between that and a guy who's stringing you along because he's not going to try to commit to you at all. There's a balance there. Okay. Fit Afro says, is it okay to end a relationship because the person consistently, what did you say there? Because the person consistently makes empty promises. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. You should end the relationship for any reason that you feel is fit. If you feel like that's not going to work for you in the relationship, then it doesn't work for you. Do you believe the most successful men want multiple women? I think that's a preference. I think that the most successful men realize that they have access to multiple women, and so they take advantage of that. The same way the most beautiful women that are young and hot and sexy realize that they have access to any guy that they want, and so they use that to their advantage, right? So as the guys get rich, have resources, if they're also attractive with resources and power, they realize they're in the top 1% of men, and so they take advantage of that power by being like, I want multiple women. If you want to be with me, you're going to have to be with other women as well. What if I brought up how I would like better communication with the guy I'm seeing? What do you mean, what if you brought it up? But he tells me he doesn't even communicate with his friends. Well, then you're with a man who's not prepared to be in a serious relationship. Well, you're supposed to have a serious relationship with someone who doesn't ever communicate. How are you ever supposed to know what his issues are? How are you ever supposed to resolve conflict? Doesn't make any sense. You're wasting your time. I rejected a guy at uni. Now he said he likes my company and wants to be my friend. Advice: don't waste your time. Why would you waste your time? He wants to be your friend. What does that mean? What is he getting from the friendship? What are you getting from the friendship, keeping him around as a friend, if you guys aren't building a serious long-term relationship? What are you getting? If you're not getting anything in particular, then you're wasting your time. Or if you're just waiting around hoping he'll change his mind, you're wasting your time. Is it possible that a man wants to commit and live with me after 3 to 4 months of, you say after 3 to 4 months of being together? No. What? He wants to live with you after 3 to 4 months? You do realize in the process of you guys being together for 3 to 4 months, he's not seeing you every day and he wants to live with you. And if you add up all the time you've actually spent together in person, it probably doesn't even equal a week in the 3 to 4 months. And trust me, we've done the math on that. So that is not a decision he should be making in 3 to 4 months. That's weird. Carolee, I want to go back to this because she said, and I wanted to make sure I answer it. She said, in my church, we are not allowed to date and have pineapples before marriage. A church belief. That's awesome. Why are you saying it as if that's a bad thing? That's awesome. I want to know how I will know which one is the right guy for me. You have to be asking questions. And if you don't need to be intimate to know about a guy. Actually, it's great because if the guys are of the same understanding that there's going to be no intercourse, then you guys can both focus on learning each other, asking the right questions, spend some one-on-one time with each other, no TV, no music, and just talk. You'll be surprised how much you can learn about someone when you just sit with no stimulus and just talk to them. Talk to them about their passions. Talk to them about what they want for their future. Talk to them about their goals, their visions, all that good stuff. If you're too scared or you have too much anxiety or you guys have nothing to talk about when it's just you two sitting in a quiet room together, then that ain't even the relationship for you, because that's what your entire relationship should be built on, is the fact that you guys are interested enough in each other that you can sit and just talk. If you can't do that with your partner, then you ain't in no relationship. You in something else. I don't know even know what we would call it. Sahar says he pays for my meals to keep me around and have an excuse to see him. FML, you're 100% right. There you go. There you go. You see, your eyes are starting to open. Iana says he slept with another girl in our dating phase. We were intimate already too. What's your question there? I think you kind of know what he wants then, or how he feels about you in that scenario. It's funny now, I haven't even had a single drop in my Wi-Fi. You know, it's almost like it has to warm up because now I don't have any issues. Natalie says you casually say you're probably a psychopath. Should we take dating advice from you? Great insights though. I was also wondering if you're a sociopath a few times watching your videos. Why would you think that I was a sociopath by watching my videos? I'm just curious. But psychopath, yeah, I think that we're all a little bit crazy in our own right. I don't try to hide from that. I'm crazy. I'm weird. I do weird stuff. You know, I'm a weirdo. So I definitely can acknowledge the psychopath thing. There's definitely some things about me that are very different from the average everyday person. And I don't say that I have all the answers to life. Actually, I always tell you guys that don't be waiting for me to tell you how to live your life or what to do. If something I say resonates with you, it's because that idea or concept was already existing inside you, and something I said just brought it to the surface. But it's not like I have a magic potion for you or a magic pill for you that I'm like, hey, take my magic pill, take my magic potion, and all of your problems will be solved. That's not why I exist. I'm just a vessel to pull out of you what was already existing inside you. The same way a therapist would. I'm obviously not a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist. But the same way a therapist would, you're not going to a therapist and the therapist is going to tell you, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. The therapist is really only there to listen and help you pull out of you the answers that you already had to your life. The therapist doesn't have no answers to your life. You have the answers to your life. It just sometimes requires someone to help you pull those answers out. Okay. Fit Afro says, "Now we need your directions." That's funny. The only thing is, as much as I can give you guys advice, I want to stay. I want to be weary of you guys using me as a crutch. That you only think the only course of action is if I tell you to do it. And then if I don't tell you to do it exactly that way, or I don't describe to you in detail exactly how you should go about it, then you're stuck and you don't know how to live your life. You don't know what the next step forward is. That's why I always tell you guys, I'm not going to give you guys points in 30 seconds, 1 minute. And then you're like, okay, I'm just waiting for you to tell me exactly what to do that will solve my life and change my life. You have to really be listening to these concepts so that when you absorb them, you can figure out how to utilize them and implement them in your own life. Not just waiting for me to tell you, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that way. Because then your whole life will become, Tomisin, can you tell me what to wear in the morning? Can you tell me how to style my hair? Can you tell me what time I should brush my teeth? I don't know if I should brush my teeth because you didn't tell me to brush my teeth. I don't know if I should wear clothes because you didn't tell me what to wear in my ward. I don't know. Should I eat cereal in the morning? Should I eat eggs in the morning? And then your whole life just becomes a mad dash of waiting for me to tell you what to do. And then when I don't tell you what to do, or if, I don't tell you exactly what to do, you're frozen in place and you can't make a decision. That's not a good place to be in. Then I'm not really helping you. I'm just becoming like a crutch to you. Okay. Morani says the people commenting here sound like teenagers. Well, I think the reason is that because if you're looking at the screen from YouTube, the left side of the screen is my TikTok chat, and the TikTok chat tends to be a younger demographic, not super young, but a younger demographic. The YouTube chat tends to be an older demographic, which is fine. But just no one under 20 years old. But that's why there's a little bit of a difference in the way people go about things, which is fine. We all learn at different stages of life. All right. Kamara says it's so interesting having an authentic male perspective. Honestly, I appreciate that, and I appreciate helping you guys. I tell you guys all the time, like, you are doing something for me by us being here, and you guys you participate. That actually motivates me to be here every day. You understand what I'm saying? There's no chance I would be making videos as much as I do and be as consistent as I am with the help that I do and the advice that I give, whatever, if it wasn't for the fact that we come here every day, the same time, and you guys are expecting me, because it also puts that pressure on me, the good pressure that I'm like, okay, people are expecting me here, so I actually have to show up for them. So you guys are doing a lot for me because I'm the most consistent I've ever been, especially with creating content and doing the best that I can do. Because I know you guys are expecting me to be here. So I actually really appreciate you guys for showing up all the time, because it helps me show up all the time because I know you're expecting me to show up. Okay. Anna says, be a student and not a follower. Listen, learn, and use what works best for you. Don't ever blindly follow anyone's advice. I 100% agree. And I'm someone that I don't get upset if you guys don't choose not to follow my advice or don't think that my advice is the best course of action. That's why I always want you guys to take the concept from it. If it resonates with you, figure out how to implement it into your own life. Don't be waiting for me to tell you what direction you should go in, right? Because at the end of the day, I only have a single perspective. So while I can give you a man's perspective, I can't give you every man's perspective that's ever lived. I can't give you every human's experience and perspective that's ever lived. And that's okay. You're not meant to learn from me every human experience and me to have every single answer to your life. You're meant to figure out the keys and the answers to your life. I can help you bring that out of you, but you have it in you. It's not me that has it in you. That sounds weird. It's not me that has the answers. Okay. Why doesn't he put a label but acting like we are in a relationship? If he doesn't put a label on it, it's because he wants to string you along. Pretty simple. Is it weird to be in a relationship with a 17-year-old but experienced and girl 20-year-old who isn't? What? If you're with a guy who's 17 and you're 20, you're not gonna get no man at 17. So unless you want to be dealing with all his growing pains of growing into a man, then do that. But you're not gonna get no man at 17. So you're gonna be very that's gonna be a very painful experience for you, being 20 years old dating a 17-year-old. Someone said because he wants the benefits of the relationship without the commitment. I 100% agree. Sarah says, I posted a question on Discord. Okay, we'll answer your question. Since we're here already, I'll answer your question on the Discord. Let's see here. So we'll hop in and we'll answer Sarah's question on the Discord. Sarah said she has, there's two people here. We'll do two more. Ali says, I have caught my boyfriend in many little lies. He ends up owning up to them and apologizes, but between this and future faking, okay, because dates of us possibly moving closer and spending more time together keep changing again and again. Now he is visiting family out of the country for weeks, keeps saying his mom is so busy when we FaceTime and she is never available. This woman supposed to know who I am and can't wait to meet me. I'm thinking she doesn't know and won't meet her. I'm thinking of breaking up if I don't meet her. Okay, first of all, I don't think you should pressure him into meeting his mom. If he doesn't feel like you should meet his mom, then it's probably a sign of how he actually feels about the relationship. Okay? If you're catching him in little lies and they're adding up to just make you feel like he's not being genuine in the relationship and he's not really actually trying to build this relationship for real, then you need to be honest with yourself about that. And if you're feeling that it's getting to a point where you should end the relationship, then that's for a reason. And you probably need to end the relationship. That's on my honest advice to you, okay? Ali, Sydney has a situation here as well. Let me answer Sydney's. Okay, Sydney's got a situation, okay? Let's see what Sydney's got to say. So Sydney says, should I stop calling him? There's this guy that likes me, and he used to bring me hot chocolate, candy, and send sweets to my address. He used to call me from time to time to chat and always notices whenever I'm sad. I don't know how he notices that. It's so cute. This guy did some crazy stuff for me. He even identified as a woman just to get the package for me that was lost. I was like, where's this going? He went, yes, I'm Sydney. Do you have a problem with that? Then he somehow managed to get the package for me. I was so impressed. Anyways, this one time he was going to pull up an all-nighter because he had so much stuff to do, and he was afraid that if he sleeps, he's going to miss class tomorrow. By the way, we both are university students anyway, so I offered him to wake him up in the morning, and I did. One day, a daily basis, and you got to spell check, guys. And I don't know if I made a mistake, or is it for me to wake him up every day? What? I call him to wake up during the weekdays, but during the weekends we would ghost each other. He calls me on the weekends asking how I am and joking about how he hasn't how. he called me on the end joking about how or why he hasn't heard, why I haven't heard from him, why he hasn't heard from me. Sorry. What if he was dead and I didn't know that? And I laughed. But what I got from him is that he wants me to call him and ask him. And whenever I do, okay, this is like a run-on sentence. And whenever I do, he lights up and seems so happy that I'm initiating conversation because I usually don't. Just for you to get an idea about my personality, I am an introvert and I recently moved to Colorado, so I have no friends, no family here, no nothing. I came here for university, so you can basically say that I'm a loner and an introvert, but I'm fun though, and I'm selectively extroverted. I like to spend most of my time alone, but then this guy came and pushed himself into my bubble. It was weird at first, but exciting. Finally, I can stop doing things alone. But him blowing hot and cold, making me question whether or not he's taking advantage of my kindness or he likes me. He stopped getting me hot chocolate, but he flirts with me from time to time. Should I stop calling him? My advice to you in this situation actually is pretty cut and dry. If he was doing all this for you at the beginning, obviously he has some interest in you, or else he would have not been doing this for you at the beginning. So if you actually want to spark his chasing behavior again, pull back. So to answer your question directly, yes, stop calling him. Stop calling him and stop texting him. And even when he starts calling you again, try to make it seem like you're more interested in seeing him in person. That way it forces him to only get access to you if he's going to be seeing you in person. Because right now what it sounds like is as time is going on, he's becoming a pen pal to you. Even though he's close to you, he's more like a pen pal where all this effort is being put into the calls and the text, and it doesn't seem like too much effort is being put into like going out on dates or even spending real in-person time together. And you don't want to fall into that trap. So stop calling him, stop texting him. When he does call, let him know that you do enjoy speaking to him, but you'd rather see him in person because you don't. Let's just be like, a class and school is a lot of work, and you only really have time in your schedule to like see him in person. You can't be calling and texting all day. You just don't have time for that, but you would love to see him in person. And then from there, let him make the decision if he's going to start seeing you in person. If all he continues doing, even after you stop calling him, is just call and text, then now you're getting into a point where you're just wasting your time, because you can't be calling and texting 24/7. That's not a real relationship. Okay. You're having a pen pal if that's the case. All right. So that's what I'll say to that. All right, guys. That's the show for today. I tried to answer as many questions as I possibly could. We went close to 3 hours today. I'm so surprised that you guys spent all this time with me. We still got Sharice here. I think I say she's still here. All the good stuff. So glad for you guys to spend all this time for me and, or with me, and I'm so appreciative of that. I will obviously not be here tomorrow, but I'll be here on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Throughout the weekend, I will also be posting on my Instagram, on my YouTube page, so make sure you're looking out for that. What I do, this is the structure that goes on. So for those of you who love the live stream and love to get every breath of every word that I say and all the context, you can go to the live section on YouTube and you can watch the full episode of each show. Okay, that includes the me talking to the chat, that includes the questions at the end, that includes the Discord. If you want just the information of the episode and nothing else, you don't want to hear anything else, you just want to listen to me talk about the information I'm giving, I also post that version that version of the show on my main page, like on the regular YouTube section, and then you can find that there. So that's how the structure is, if you're ever wondering about that. So make sure you go on my YouTube for those of you who want to catch the live show. If you miss parts of it and you want to rewatch it, the amazing part about it is that in the live show format, that's why the YouTube version is low key the best way to watch the show, because you get to see the TikTok chat, and then you also get to see the YouTube chat, and then you get to watch me as well. So it's so much stimulus. You get to read and then watch at the same time. But even when you watch it back, you'll be able to see the TikTok chat embedded on the left side of the screen. and then the YouTube chat embedded on the right side of the screen, that you can follow all the context of all the conversation that's going on. That way you're never confused about who I'm talking to or what I'm referring to. That's why it's such an amazing experience. Okay. So make sure you go subscribe to me on YouTube and watch that if you want to watch that as well. Okay. For those of you who want to just follow me on Instagram and see everything that I'm doing and be up my butt and, you know, sniff my eyeballs, you can go up and follow me on Instagram. It's right there on the top left corner of the screen on TikTok, and then right there on the bottom right of the screen on YouTube. Eric says I post something in Discord. I'll answer that on Monday. So tune in on Monday and I'll answer your question in Discord. Okay. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. I will see you guys then. In the meantime, have an amazing weekend. I love you so much. I care for you so much. You're so awesome. You're so amazing.